we think AI alone is not enough. We think people alone is too slow and expensive. So we're 90% AI and we've got 10% really good creatives. And it doesn't take much, just nudging the machine here and there.
Welcome to the Mastering E-commerce Marketing Podcast. I'm your host, Eitan Koter, co-CEO of Vimy. In an era of rising acquisition costs and increased competition, this podcast is dedicated to helping you drive sales, engage customers, and build meaningful communities so you can turn passive visitors into active buyers. Now let's get started with the episode. Today we're joined by John Gargiulo, a seasoned marketing leader, creative strategist, and now the founder and CEO of Airpost, an AI-powered platform that's reinventing how e-commerce brands produce video ads at scale. With a background that includes scaling ReadySet into one of the largest video-first agencies for D2C brands, launching global products at Airbnb, and growing BlueStacks to over $1 billion, John brings a rare blend of startup hustle and enterprise discipline. At Airpost, he's merging AI with real actors and real products footage to deliver hundreds of authentic, high-performing UGC-style video ads, fast, affordable, and endlessly customizable. If you ever wondered how to scale creative without losing soul, automate production without sacrificing quality, or stay ahead in the AI and advertising revolution, this conversation is for you. Hey, John, welcome. How are you?
Thanks for having me, Aiden. I'm good.
Yeah, it's a really exciting topic we're going to discuss today. We thought that AI video is something for the far, future, but eventually it's already here, right? And moving very, very fast, faster than we all predict, right? You're in the video and creative industry for many years, me as well, and it's amazing to see how things are progressing. But John, before we start, I'd like to think about 3 words that probably describe your beliefs, what you truly believe in, and probably words that are important to you. And please explain why also.
I can think of one for sure. It's funny you ask. I was at a retreat recently with a bunch of other people who run businesses, and this facilitator had us do this exercise where you wrote down all of the words that come to mind, and over an hour you narrow it down, and what's at the very top. And the one at the very top for me was gratitude. I feel like if you have gratitude, small and big, like I'll start in tiny. I thought this was kind of funny. I saw a tweet or something once, or some guy said he wakes up some days. This is more about presence, but you could also think about gratitude. And he says it sounds crazy, but he says hello to the objects in the room, like hi lamp, hello curtains, good morning. Like to me, that's like just tiny levels of like I'm just glad to be here. And then at a high level, of course, it's like when you're feeling like, oh, woe is me, how could this happen? It just be grateful you have your health and you're in this world at this time. It's amazing. That's my number one. The other 2 are, I would take values. Let me pick 2 out of the 5 from our company that obviously very much come from myself, my amazing co-founder of ReadySet, the agency I ran for many years. My favorite of the 5 core values is from a speech Dan Rather, the newsman, gave at my college graduation. At the end of his speech to us students, he said, "You will not remember anything I said here today," which is true. I don't remember a single word. But this last thing is so important. I'm going to say it 3 times. If it is to be, it must come from me. If it is to be, it must come from me. If it is to be, it must come from me. And that really stuck with me. So that's one of our core values. And the last one's written on my coffee mug here. Another core value of ReadySet, which is, you see that says, "It will be okay."
Nice.
So
nice.
Some drama happens. Some superstars might be leaving. Some client might be some drama. The first response often in Slack, because our culture is very ingrained, in the company, is it will be okay. Let's talk through it.
Yes. I mean, I think there's a lot of commonality, right? It's going to be okay. Totally relates to gratitude, right? And just let go, right, of things that you think are bothering you, but they're not too much. I just look for the future and start to focus on creativity, right? This is something that is creativity and innovation. It's so important in tech, right? And always for any founder, it's one of the important aspects of creating something new and have this flexible and agile mentality, right? In a way.
It's an exciting time to be a founder because exactly creativity, innovation. And, my friend has a theory that the higher you are at a company, if you're the CEO, you should be looking out the furthest, years out. If you're the junior analyst, you should be looking at what's due today, and it really does work out that way. And so looking out is a crazy thing right now because ChatGPT came out less than 3 years ago. And look where we are.
Yes. And the amount of content that was created during these 3 years is much more that was created, like the whole internet, right, years before that. I think like more than double or triple already, right? So it's things have changed a lot. And you're in the video space, and we know that video is working well. I mean, any brand owner out there, they know that video is the right way to go. And we see that video is just growing everywhere, right? Short form video is growing, long form video is growing. For example, on YouTube, live events are just ramping up very, very fast. Um, every type of video is just still like video is probably 85% of the internet traffic. It's like all over the place. So when you started Airpost, what was the specific problem that you identified and you're totally passionate and excited to solve?
Yeah, I mean, the genesis of that question goes back to when I was at Airbnb in 2018, 19, and started Ready Set, which was the agency I ran. We're to 200 people, video first. That was the insight was, hey, video has been thought of in internet world for the last 10, 20 years as really heavy and expensive. And you and I come from the broadcast video world, and there's a set and there's crew and there's craft table. And it's just like, not so internety and digital, and all these new companies, D2C companies were springing up. But I saw with some early clients of ours, still clients today, like DoorDash and Hims and Hers, that these new young marketers and CEOs they knew they needed not 3 videos like we have 3 TV commercials in the old days over 6 months with 30 meetings and 300 grand. They needed like 13 ads this week to test on Meta, right? And this is so obvious now, but in 2018 it wasn't. And so that took off. And now what we started to do, not even now, but inside of Ready Set is where we incubated Airpost.ai. And now it's its own thing with its own funding, its own team, was this realization, these ads are actually relatively formulaic. There's a certain type of approaches. There's 3 reasons why, there's before and afters, there's different structures, different recipes. We can put all of the ingredients in the walk-in fridge that we can grab from, have our, robo chefs, AI robo chefs, look at these recipes, find the ingredients, make the food, send it to the floor, see what comes back and what the diners like and don't like. And that seemed really like crazy, innovative, and visionary in 2022 when we started working on this. Now, the tailwind of what's possible in AI is just like, have you ever walked by a tall building where it's like blowing you forward? That's what it feels like.
Yes. So what's happening in AI video? Tell us, I mean, all the exciting.
Business thing that's happened this summer is the chat GPT moment for video, I call it, which is VO3. Not Sora, it's not anything else. It's this transition from, before VO3, hey, runway is pretty good. Oh yeah, I can see that video. Oh, that one looks kind of real. But most video is mostly this ethereal. It doesn't annoy me, but it's like, I don't get excited by it. Even like Zuckerberg just presented some stuff like, oh, look at this. It's a unicorn woman on Mars riding a horse and cool. It looks like there's not a big market for trippy posters like that, right? But what I care about is photorealistic while that person is really, really real. What VO3 did is not only bring reality, photorealism, but audio. And, there were studies decades ago, if people are in a movie theater, for example, and the audio's not great, the video's perfect, or the audio is perfect and the video is not great, people vastly prefer to hear good audio. And all of the clips we've been watching for 2-3 years in Runway and Kling and all these video platforms is just silent. And now all of a sudden with VO3, people are talking. There's background noise. It brings it to life and it looks really real. It's still not perfect, but that was a huge leap where it went from, and this is a big theme for me in AI, oh, cool demo toy tweet, to, oh no, I want to use that for this project today.
Crazy. And the things that you can do that, and the audio breakthrough, I think it's amazing. Like the definition of the ChatGPT moment for video, right? So where is Airpost?
So we're leveraging all of this, and our thesis is it's still not enough. It's not like you can go to we work with enterprises. It's not like you can go to the CMO of DoorDash and be like, check this VO tweet out. Doesn't that look really real of the man on the street interview? let go of your entire 68-person growth team and just sit there and prompt stuff because you can, right? No, that's not how it works. I've been in big companies. Airbnb, we had, 30 marketing managers. And I mean, they're all brilliant and smart and high EQ and friends today, but all of the work was done by 112 different agencies. Um, these companies need help. They need someone to take their hand and walk them into the AI era. So what Airpost does is say, look, give us all of your footage, fill out this brief within the software. That's like just the facts, man. What are your audiences, your value propositions in order, these kinds of things. We develop a really strategic flow of what types of value props to test against which audiences, blah, 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 blah. So it's very strategically chosen. And then you get this gallery of new video ads every single day. As of this moment, this summer, VO3 just came out weeks ago, it's mostly their footage. We also have a bank of nearly 500,000 pieces of footage that we've accumulated over 5 years that we own exclusively, all vertical video UGC style footage. So it's the walk-in fridge has got their ingredients, our ingredients, and increasingly we've built an AI video team. It's 3 people now. It'll probably be 30 people in 3 years that all day long just works inside our system to build out a library for these clients. Just a week ago, I found out that I was late to the party. I feel late. It's been 1 week. That you can take a product now and you can actually, put it in somebody's hand, animate the video just there. So that's a big difference. Because another thing that's been impossible up till now, Eitan, is, okay, cool. I have a person, she's working out, she looks real. Okay, I have a person, she's talking about this podcast, she looks real. But I have not been able to put my real product that really sprays and see it spray in her hand. And like days ago, you can now.
Yes, you can. You can. So you're focusing on what style of video is like a storytelling type, like variety of scene. It's not like UGC or unboxing or stuff like that. It's more like
That's
story.
going to be one thing, but we're starting with one thing. I'm really big on focus. So like the word inside our company is quality. We are obsessed with getting it to, I think you have to be 95% as good as those manually produced ads at Hims and DoorDash, or it's worth zero. They just go, nah, we're not posting this. We're not showers. We're not there yet. Nobody is. And a lot of people are focusing on a lot of shiny things. Oh, we're going to have an analytics platform, isn't it? We are just focused on that. Within that, we are just focused as of summer 2025 on vertical UGC style direct response. This ad is going to make you money this week. Can we branch out? Of course. Do I talk to my friends at vibe.co and all these nascent, CTV companies that you can, with a credit card and a click and $100, start running TV ads in an hour? Yes, they are desperate for footage. All of their clients are like, this is very cool. I don't have a TV ad. We'll make that possible as well, but step by step.
Yeah. And so your business model, you're trying to be like a SaaS platform, or you're still going to be a service engagement with your customers?
Good question. So my theory is that pure AI SaaS in the realm of creative production is not at 95%. And if it's not at 95%, you'll get a lot of press, you'll raise a lot of money, you won't get a lot of clients at stake. And so to get to 95%, I believe you need people in the machine. And I'm not ashamed of that. I'm proud of that. It's mostly a software platform, to be clear. You sign up for Airpost. It's, thousands of dollars a month minimum, a tiny percent of spend through the ads that you make with the platform, way tinier than the agencies in the old model.
Mm-hmm.
And you use it every day. Sorry, let me kill this. You use it every day to get new stuff. Yourself, you can edit the ads yourself, not with a bunch of big Premiere, complex, tiny little, every little thing, just the Fisher Price, like change the words, change this one shot. And there's service in 2 senses. One, we have a Slack channel with you. So we're so early that if you're like, I'm seeing all these mostly templatized things that we have built. I hate to say that because it makes it sound like the old way of templates, which are very cheesy and, 30% off sale. I mean, very custom templates that we have built that are good for DR for that vertical. But we're so early in building those out that if you're like, one of our clients is like, listicles are really working for us. Can you make more of our ads show up as listicles? So we'll have our template team build those. Other clients can maybe use those as well. And the second, so that's one way we do it. Second way we do it is we're designing strategically what we're running when. So what they're getting when. It's not just random stuff thrown at them every day. It's, okay, it looks like from we're tied into their Meta platform, right? Or TikTok. We see that this value prop is working really well. You've worked with a lot of companies. Sometimes, like we worked with a fintech company. They're like, it was like payment in advance stuff. They're a pretty big company now. And it was like saying, get $200 today with no background check or something. Like it was impossible to beat that value prop. So if that's the case, why just give random stuff? So we can strategically talk with them, look early on at, what we're delivering. So it's a software platform, but we're also talking, if that makes sense. And then lastly, and most importantly, there are top tier creative strategists in the pipeline that before the client sees the ads that come to them every day, and it's not 1,000 ads, maybe 10. This creative strategist can punch up the copy, change out a shot that doesn't make sense. There's no one else doing that right now.
Yes. So it's not just the tech and just making sure videos performing and improving performance. It's just also you're positioning yourself as an agency, as a smart, value provider, trying to analyze what's working and what's not, and just provide.
Think of us as like a partner. It's enterprise software. We're still figuring this out. It's a hybrid. It is. We think AI alone is not enough. We think people alone is too slow and expensive. So we're 90% AI, and we've got 10% really good creatives, and it doesn't take much, just nudging the machine here and there. And by the way, we're literally tracking those nudges and the client edits to make our engine smarter and smarter. And over time, the AI will take over more of it. But it's not that expensive for me to pay for, half an hour of top tier creative strategist who works on really big brands, multi-million-dollar spending ads to change 17 words in an ad in our software. It takes her 5 minutes.
Sure.
So that combination is proving to work really well.
Yeah. So it seems that you believe in the AI, but also in the human creativity just working together, right? So how do you see the future?
I almost said the word taste when we talked about, but quality is really what we talk about internally in all dimensions. But I don't feel like there's a lot of people in AI startups scaling taste and even respecting taste, because most AI startups come from engineering. They don't come from like you and me, like advertising and brands. And how does a CMO think? They don't care about the code. They care about, is my CEO going to send me a WTF screenshot, about some ad that I just made? Is my legal team going to say something? But mostly it's that they want the thing to look good and represent what they want it to represent.
What about other human, position and talents like the actors, the producers? How do you see they are involved in the future of this industry?
I see it changing rapidly. I just was texting a production friend in LA yesterday, and then he called me. We were talking for a long time about this. It's going to change. There's no question. The idea that let's take a crazy faraway timeline, which in AI world is 3 years. ChatGPT came out less than 3 years from ago, right? 3 years from now, you're already seeing that VO3 is perfect. I just made a birthday video for a friend, and with all these like real people, talking about him, and his mother-in-law, who's really smart, said, "Who are these people? I don't know these people. These are really nice things, And like one of them was Jesus, and so she was really confused. So it already looked really real. Now let's be clear, and we see how fast it's come. 3 years from now, if you become CMO of DoorDash, and you're sitting with your weekly meeting with your CFO to talk about your marketing budget. And, the old CMO got let go, was the old school person who was spending millions of dollars on production of all kinds. And you have a decision to make. Are you going to say to the CFO, to your CEO, here's what I think we should do. AI is perfect video. I can say, it even knows what a DoorDash delivery bag looks like for Dashers. I can literally type, or have someone on my team type, make this video, and maybe at that point you can make a whole ad. You can use Airpost, whatever. You see where I'm going with this. And it's 1% the cost of what it was in 2022 to do all that, or 2025 even. Or are you going to say, oh, I am a craftsman. I don't care that this stuff exists. I think we need to hire a production company, a casting department. We need to all go out to lunch at Shutters in LA to discuss it for the 16th time. We're going to have some Zoom calls with some expensive people. They're going to stare at you like you're from another era. And I'm talking about a meeting 3 years from now. So that's just where it's going. Do I love everything about that? No. I also, though, I'll lastly say, I think people worry, well, if there aren't creators being creative and being themselves, and there aren't, storytelling, real shots, then we're going to lose all creativity and everything's going to look so generic. I actually think people underestimate how creative AI can be. I'll give you 2 examples. A friend posted, and this was a year ago. I'm sure it'd be way better now, maybe 2 years ago. 5 headlines from The Onion. And he said, which of them is AI? Now, this is a trope a lot of people use. First of all, 2 of them were like, made me laugh. Like they're funny. And I think The Onion today is not that funny, but these were funny. And then he said, all were AI. Oh, I'm not blown away. And it was damn funny. And, like it can be creative. Sure, it's generic. Sure, when you listen to a Suno song that you just prompt with one half a sentence, it just sounds like they're singing. It sounds like a pop song. I get all that. I think, you should doubt the person you're talking to when they keep alluding to where we are now or what they saw recently. It doesn't matter. It would be like someone talking about what video looked like when Will Smith was eating spaghetti. Look how terrible that is 3 years ago. It's obviously not going to work. Well, it does work. Last thing I'll say on this, Eitan, we had a series of personas when I was at Airbnb of, I forget some of the names, but like whoever the most innovative person was, like the earliest adopter who would try anything. And it was boop, 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 boop. And I joke with my same friend in LA because he says he's one of these. Young guy, fifth was heel draggers. Not only are they not that interested in like new things, but it's, your aunt who has to be dragged to try this Airbnb or rent her house out. That sounds so crazy. I feel like AI is moving so quickly. It's turned like a lot of my really smart creative friends into heel draggers. And I think a lot of it is whatever the opposite of wishful thinking is. They don't like what this new world looks like. It's scary for a lot of people. You work in LA production, that's scary. But it's definitely happening. So we can ignore it and put blinders on and look backwards, or we can start to plan for the future.
Yes. So totally agree with the 99% cost reduction and commoditizing all those tools in less than 3 years. And so everyone has access to these tools and to these capabilities. How do you see company differentiating?
Good question. I hear that come up a lot, and it's fair, right? It's like that CMO is meeting with his team. They're talking about how hims and hers, you can picture hims and hers ads, and we do them, like how they're different from something else. You can still do that. You can still differentiate. It's more that you have an Iron Man suit of super tools. It's the same thing that's happening with coding, that you can, like Ilya Sutskever said that Karpathy said the hottest new coding language is English. It's a big deal. And I think of it as going, what you describe as this tools in everyone's hands. It's going from scarcity to abundance. So now all of a sudden, everybody can participate in this stuff. Does that mean that if you're that CMO at DoorDash, you can't do different types of ads, a different type of look and feel, different type of values you might have as a company that you want to express in your advertising than, a competitor? No, of course not. I don't think it limits that. But I understand why people jump there, because it's like, well, it's not very creative today. It's pretty generic. Oh, so everyone's going to do this generic thing. They're all going to sound the same. It doesn't have to be that way. And I think as the tools get better, again, it's going to be amazing.
Sure. I mean, we see that Meta is rolling out, open targeting and using AI just to, they just encourage you to stop defining, customers and audiences and just let them take all the decisions. There might be an evolution where they start, with creativity and just even creating the ads for you and test on their own. So,
well, Zuckerberg has said that they'll do exactly that, right? I mean, a lot of headlines this summer. He said, you're going to literally give us your business goals and we'll take care of the rest.
Exactly.
There was a lot of mockery around that. In fact, I had a dinner with like several executives at Facebook right around that time, and they were like, yeah, it's so far away. Like we don't even like, they're a bit behind others. I think TikTok's making AI tools a lot faster. But that's absolutely where they are headed.
Yes. So, John, I mean, we know how authenticity is so important, right? Primarily, TikTok taught us a lot, the TikTokification effect, no need, high production value, no need those polished videos anymore. Authenticity is just the name of the game, right? Everyone talks about authenticity. How do you maintain authenticity, in an era that everything is AI generated and doesn't feel fake?
I've got a new metaphor for this. It's hard to hear. First of all, I totally agree. Authenticity is really 80% of what makes an ad effective is, okay, this looks like a real person. I think that's why UGC style took over. I'm actually surprised it's still not made it to TV yet, because I think it actually would work better than this shiny, polished ads. There's various reasons I think that's still going on. But anyways, so authenticity is key. This is a real person. Oh, I see how the box comes to your house with this product. Oh, that's what it looks like. Okay, she seems to really genuinely, people have good intuition, genuinely like the product. Okay. If you have somebody who, by definition, is not a real person, by definition, that's inauthentic. But I think there's a lot of nuance here. I was just up in Napa at Restoration Hardware is making all these restaurants as like, it was celebrating someone's birthday, and it was a RH something, whatever. It was a very nice restaurant in like a glass, greenhousey type thing. And there were literally trees. And they looked beautiful, topiaries, and they were fake. I didn't notice. We ended up having a discussion about it. Actually, turns out the tree was like real but dead, and they added fake leaves. You would never tell. Nobody would care. It was a very nice high-end place. I had restaurants in New York in a past life. I was one of the first, not anything to me, but I discovered this very early. I see it now everywhere. This vendor came to me and said, instead of putting dark wood floors, we have these tiles now that look exactly like dark wood. And they look authentic. And I'm like, I literally can't tell the difference. And I laid them down, and you walk on it, and it's stone tile. It's so much better for food and drink spilling. It's so much more durable. It doesn't warp, and no one would ever think it wasn't. Next time you go into like a high-end salad, fast casual place, they probably have those tiles. You see where I'm going with this, right? And nobody cares. They don't care. The place just looks nice and modern. So, I've already played with VO3 where you can have somebody look really genuinely upset about something, or happy about something, or excitedly telling you about something if you prompt it right. And this is like the weeks old thing. Forget the 3 years from now. So I posit this. If you could have somebody, which you can and you will, intuitively come across as very authentic and genuinely telling you about something. And it turns out, and you can't tell, by the way, you can't tell whether it's a real tree or a fake tree. You can't tell. A, do you care? B, are you moved the same way? Oh, I see it. That's how it comes in the box. Oh, I see she puts it on her face. I need that for my rosacea. Do you care? Does it come across to your brain the same way? I will posit that you don't care. Most people won't care. And mostly it will be as compelling. I could be wrong. And of course, this is not blanket. There will be some people who are like, I need the government to show me this is AI. Okay, it feels compelling, but I'm going to not. That's what most of my friends say now is like, oh, people are going to rebel against it. I think young people are just not going to care, just like we don't care about the wood floors.
Yes. I mean, there are a lot of unknowns, right? I mean, it's going to be things that we need to just wait and see how they're evolving. So, John, how do you market, the company? How do you do your marketing?
Yeah, good question. Mostly getting it in the hands of influential people who have gained a lot of respect, a following. There's not that many of them, I find, in the sort of direct-to-consumer, advertisers spending $1 million or $3 million a month. There's not tens of thousands of these companies at the enterprise level. And there's certain people, and I personally know most of them. I know it's like 11 to 15 people maybe that everyone sort of follows on Twitter or whatnot. So they have newsletters that people are reading. So just, working with them to help design this thing. Because again, it's not on its own, our AI engine, which we have patents on, which we have 17 engineers working every day on. We're launching new features every week. It's not 95% as good on its own of making it out. If someone tells you their thing is, don't believe the cherry picked demo, like use it yourself, and you'll within about 2 minutes, you probably had this experience. You'll be like, nope.
Yes. Investment, I'm just prompting here to get what I want, right?
Yeah. Or it takes you long. You get it eventually, but it takes you longer than it would be just there. So that's where we're focused, and just bringing those people into the conversation and having it, spread organically, not buying ads per se. But if I were to make ads, I would use AI.
Sure, for sure. So it's that's the usual track, right? You start organically, right, with some key stakeholders and word of mouth, right, and walk from there. Great.
And if you look at enterprise companies like Zapier, I met them when they were starting to pay for paid social. They're like 7-8 years old. They were already famous and multi-billion. Like for enterprise companies, yeah, mostly you start with like, I'm starting with friends who have worked with us before, and then people here through a friend. So we may have a little while before we're running Google ads.
Nice. So anyone out there just working on their own AI-based tech company, what are some of the lessons or tips you can share?
I feel it's very tempting to do the cherry picked demo, to get the hypey LinkedIn post that, comments for how I did this. That's already kind of wearing out, because people are wearing out after trying so many real products and seeing that they don't work.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's actually almost like, slightly ruining things for us because people have these assumptions. Oh, I bet it's not really good. And so I try to parrot that by being like, well, not parrot that. I try to sort of pierce that by saying, yeah, no, our thing is not good enough on its own. And even though we are like, I think the best. So we need humans in the machine to help it. So advice for other folks is just like, focus on the long term. I like what the CPO of OpenAI says, which is if you feel like you're close, that tailwind at your back walking by the building will help. The models will help you get better in different areas. Like keep going, he says. I think those are my 2 pieces of advice.
Nice. So how people can find you and Airpost?
Yeah, LinkedIn. So I'm just John Gargiulo. If you're chatting about AI and the future and what's good, what's not. And Airpost is airpost.ai. So yeah, if you're at an advertiser company spending, $500K, $1 million plus a month, come check us out.
Amazing. Anything else you want to add, John?
No, this has been really fun. I think, I've been in, as you have, the video world my whole career. And this is by far the most exciting shit, like a couple of years, and I say to my wife, like, if this works out, Airpost, which I think it will in a big way, we have some amazing investors we're going to be announcing soon, so a seed round, or it doesn't, I almost am happy either way because it's so fun to build with this awesome team in this time.
I think that's the best probably mentality and mindsets to be, right? I mean, if you're trying it too hard and you just, trying to, you reach burnout or you're too frustrated, right?
Sorry, I think it's also really, really early. You're not late. So if you're like, oh crap, I guess I better do AI startup, but I'm probably too late. No, man, it's the internet 1994. And we're talking about, will people ever use payments with their credit card to strangers? Like it's so early.
Wow, John, it was really, really exciting. Thank you so much. I wish you, great journey, a lot of success.
Thank you. You too, Eitan. This has been a great time.
Thank you for listening to the end of this episode. If you found this episode valuable, please subscribe so you won't miss any of our future content. Explore Vimy, the video commerce platform that includes live shopping, shoppable video, and social commerce capabilities. Visit Vimy at www.vimy.net. We appreciate your support and look forward for bringing you more valuable insights in our next episode.